Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the green hills, warm hills, humid hills, ticky hills of Middle Tennessee. Tennessee, the home of Dr. Ken Berry. Yes, we're proud to have him as a Tennessean. And here we are with a Colt Python. Man, does it get any better than that? Oh man, yeah, after that AK last week, and shooting that some more this week, I needed some time with my good old vintage 357 Magnum Python. Had it out briefly this week, shot a couple of shots in a video, but I'm not going to clean that. I want to shoot it some more. So that's what we're doing today. The Colt Python. Many of you have Colt Pythons. Is that a tick crawling on my leg? I feel something. Sure is. Would y'all like to see him? Man, and I lathered up good. Where in the world did he come from? What tree did he fly off of? Y'all ever seen a tick? I don't know if you can see that guy. Look how fast they move. Yeah. Go get somebody else's blood, buddy. And that's why I wear shorts in the summer, or one of the reasons. Cooler. But a lot of people go out in the woods and think, oh man, yeah, you get those long pants on and get socks up over all that kind of stuff. Those ticks can get anywhere, and I don't want to think did I feel one on my leg? But well, they're all covered up under my long pants and in there, and busy moving around a little bit, and maybe already partaking of my blood, and I don't even know it for several hours till I take a shower or something. So anyway, yep, I got that guy. That is just. They're really bad this year, apparently. Really bad. They just are. I've had a couple stuck on me, and this year, and I have, I don't know, 3 or 4 on me, and I really lather up and try to protect myself. So where in the world they came from? I have not been walking in the weeds at all. So if you see one, warn me, will you? Glad you're here. Yep. It's always a good day when you've got a 357 Magnum Colt Python. Oh man, pretty nice, pretty nice. I really like that firearm. I don't get it out often enough. I have the little 3-inch 2020 Python, and some of you have the vintage Pythons. Many of you have the 2020 Pythons, and they're all nice. They really are. I mean, when you pull that hammer back on an old one or a new one, it's just like on glass. Feels really, really good. Not to mention they're beautiful firearms, right? And need to be fired. Need to be fondled and fired regularly. It's just a fact of life. Yeah. So pretty nice. I will enjoy firing that a little bit today on Sunday. A little early again this week. Grandson's coming by. I'm gonna pick on him this week. And yeah, man. So it's amazing that here we are, the 22nd of June. Oh boy. Yeah, appreciate the help we get from Davidson's Gallery of Guns, where you get a guaranteed lifetime replacement on your firearms purchases. Silencer Central, make that great Banish lineup. Got several of them. You see them here. By the way, I think, was it through all, well, I think beginning to, it's going on now, I think. If you've been to their website, you get they got some kind of deal with a lot of different entities that are paying for the $200 tax stamp, I think through the end of July. But go to their website and check that out. I don't know exactly all the details. What else? Oh yeah, SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. Get yourself some really useful education. Drone technology. Yeah, boy, that's a becoming thing. And firearms technology, gunsmithing, all sorts of things. And you might be able to fix a firearm better than I can. Oh man, what else? Yeah, that's interesting. The tax stamp, that $200 that we have to pay on a Class 3 firearm or a suppressor. When was it? It was the the NFA is what goes back to 34, right? 34 or 36, one or the other. And when that was initiated, and it was really to make it really prohibitive to purchase a machine gun, right? And at that time, it would have been, why, can you imagine? What's $200 today? That was $200 in 1930s versus today. Well, that's a ton, isn't it? That's, gosh, maybe 3,000 or something, or four, I don't know. That's just a lot more money, and then it's totally turned on its head. I don't know what it cost, but at that time to get a Thompson or whatever it might have been, a select fire firearm, but it would have been not much different than any other firearm. And because even in the 80s, when I bought my Uzi, it wasn't all that much different. I think time I bought the gun, had it converted, bought an extra short barrel, all that stuff had about $1,200 in it, and then an Uzi, 83, I guess. So we go back into the 1930s, and it just wasn't that big a deal. The tax stamp was the big deal. The $200 was the big deal, probably on a firearm that, I don't know, cost $30 or something, or $50, and don't quote me on those numbers, but ballpark probably, and so that's really weird. Whereas now, if you're contemplating purchasing whatever H&K or an AK, M16, select fire, guess what? The $200 tax stamp you don't even think about. That's not even an afterthought. Yeah, on top of the $30, $40, $50, $60,000. Yeah, so like I was saying last week with the AK, was that last week? Yeah, that unfortunately it's a great investment for all the wrong reasons, but they appreciate a great deal because they're limited real estate, and so all that is really flipped, except on suppressors. It's still wow, okay, 200 on top of it. So it's a bigger deal than on a class 3. Such a minute percentage on a class 3 firearm that it's virtually irrelevant, right? So, but anyway, what am I gonna shoot? I got something else there to shoot too, and but can I shoot this again first? Those were some of my hand-loaded Magnums. I'll shoot a little, we've got some Underwood 357 Magnums, some jacketed rounds here. This is as I've talked about, I had one of these, and when did I buy it? 74, I guess, 374. And I let it get away. When I'm trying to remember when I bought something like this the first time, probably you're the same way, possibly. I know where I had it, where I lived, when I had it, where I went to shoot it, and that kind of thing. So I can narrow it down if I don't have records on it within a year or two, probably. Oh yeah, because just like this, this came to my mind when I was living in an apartment at Laurelwood Apartments in Franklin, Tennessee. Is when I had it, I bought it and went out and shot it from there. So it was before 1975, and 74 would be about the right time, I think. And I kind of felt, I'll have to admit, just seeing them around in gun shops and hearing people talk lovingly about them and seeing them in different barrel lengths and gun shops. At that time, there were no stainless models. They were all blued or nickel. And lo and behold, Starsky and Hutch, the TV show, cop show, and Hutch is carrying one of these exactly like this in a shoulder holster. And boy, every time he'd pull that out, that was just a beautiful firearm. I'm a little surprised more hasn't been made of this firearm in the movies, through the years. It's been shown, no doubt about it. It was also featured in The Getaway. A lot of action with this in the movie The Getaway. Steve McQueen, Ally McGraw. But it's just beautiful, beautiful. And that was a Peckinpah movie, right? And I mean, he knows about guns, what guys like. But yeah, beautiful firearm, no doubt about that. Not necessarily the best firearm, maybe not even necessarily the most accurate and all that kind of stuff, but just a nice firearm. And it needs to be fired. Oh, these are Magnums. Are they going to hurt? Let's get our rears in. Notice I put a shooting tree up over here. That's the first time I shot it. You saw. That's the first time I've missed it. And you got to see my first hits and my first miss on this shooting tree. Let's miss Clyde. Didn't miss it that time. How about the cowboy? Oh. I don't know if I don't think I heard it. I get my earplugs in so tight when I'm firing something loud that I can pretend I hit it, you know, even if I miss, right? But I think I've done that before. I go both ways. As I'm kind of looking at a video, or I'm not really editing them, but if I'm looking at one, I'll see, I have seen me shoot and, you know, I can't hit that thing. I must be holding too low, too high, shooting at the gong. But every one of them's hitting it. Maybe not dead center or something, and it's not ringing it as loud. Actually rings it more loudly if you hit it on the edge, I think, like, or on the bottom or something. But anyway, I am hitting it. I can tell when I watch the video because I don't have my earplugs on when I'm watching the video. But the dumb guy in the video shooting has his earplugs in real tight. And so whoever he is, you know, he's shooting it, and he can hit that thing, but he's hitting it. And then a couple of times I've seen myself shoot at it, and oh yeah, good sound, hit the gong, and I didn't hit it. I don't know what I was thinking. Probably not thinking. My usual course of action, inaction. So pythons are neat. Most of you get it, even if you don't have a python, and if you don't necessarily want one, you know they're just the sexiest handgun, or at least in the top 2 or 3. Not necessarily favorite of all time, but they're just, I don't know, there's something about them. They're that mid-size, kind of like an L-frame Smith, and the red barrel, the full underlug, all that, and it's smooth action. So yeah, they're really nice, and I'm so glad Colt brought them back and did a pretty darn good job on it too. Yeah, I've got that 3-incher, I am more prone to shoot a longer barrel one, as far as shoot it a fair amount, you know. If I had one just like this in the 2020 Python, I would shoot it a lot more probably, just because the action's stronger. You don't have to worry about the timing going off and all that kind of thing, you know. Plus this one's again a little bit like real estate, you know. It's a vintage Python. I'm not making any more vintage Pythons. Yep, that's the truth, I promise. Yeah, okay, I brought out something else here. Do I have some ammo? Here's a couple of rounds. Just give you a clue. What do you guess? I wouldn't guess 380 if I were you. You'd probably miss it. Or I wouldn't quickly guess 22 short. You'd probably miss it. But if you guess 4570, you'd probably get it. Yeah, you know, someone, it's not just because of that. Someone in a comment I saw said, yeah, get out your Sharps Sporter 1 again, whatever, you know. And I said, what? Yeah, I think I just had it out, didn't I, a few weeks ago. But I just couldn't resist. Yeah, I couldn't resist. So I did. I got it out. I like this firearm. Oh, man, standby. This is one that's right in the front of one of my safes too, where it just is always there, kind of staring at me, tempting me. Yep. So couldn't resist it. I haven't even shouldered it for, well, probably the last time you saw me. So again, hopefully I have an excuse to miss it, to miss whatever I shoot at. Well, let's sling one out there. Do I remember how to sight it? Probably not. Oh, yeah. Tell you, I hate to spend so much of your money You know, I know I keep telling you there's something wrong with you if you don't have a revolver, you know, or a lever gun. And I hate to break the news to you, but there might also be something wrong with you long term if you haven't kind of put it on your list at least. If you don't own a single shot, they're just nice of some sort. Okay, whatever it is. Oh man, nice. What do I want to shoot? Let's shoot down there in the holler, excuse me. Supposed to call it a holler if you live in the country, right? I used to, I know I still have students probably around there 40 years old or 50 years old that think I'm even a bigger idiot than I was, because I would intentionally, you know, I let them know I lived out in the woods, you know, out in the country, and if the word window came up, anything at all, like look out the window, we had windows in the class. Anytime I used the word window, I would usually say winder, you know, and I would sometimes explain, I live in the woods, it's a winder, you know, out in the rural county. So, you know, someone probably didn't get it. Imagine that, not getting a goofy piece of my humor, supposed humor. All right, 4570, this is some Steinel, 405 grains of pure unadulterated lead. Yes. Okay. Let's oh, there's that water jug right next to the tree, the steel tree, that is. Let's see what this will do to that. Almost jerked down and missed it. All right. Sweet. And we moved that over here, or it's not the one from the other range, it's a different one I got, but I knew after we got it positioned that I'd probably end up moving, because I came over here a little bit ago, and it's right in front of that big poplar tree. It was right in line with it, and I didn't initially want that poplar tree there, because that was about the only tree that was in the way when I was kind of set up over here to shoot over here years ago. And it was not very big, you know, whatever it was. And I actually chopped it off. I wanted it to die and go away so I could shoot over it, and I just chopped it off there, and it grew back. And I did it again, shot it off, I think, with something. It grew back. And I finally, okay, just let it grow. I gave up. Now it's whatever, 60, 80 feet high or something. But it has caught some lead there. But, you know, since it's there, I'll try not to overdo it. But anyway, I moved it over here today a little bit, so still trying to decide where I want it exactly. That's not too bad. I might move it over to my right a little bit more there. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, you're worried about that. Let's shoot this thing again. Big old 4570, you know how it works. These big old rounds slide in there. You've seen a lot of this in our videos, putting that torpedo in the tube, right? Get my ears on, plug something. They're pretty good bowling pin guns too, like right here. Yeah. Pretty good bucket guns. Quigley showed us that. And yeah, it's always a good day to bring it. Boy, I tell you, I've got two beauties today, don't I? This is a special shooting engagement today. Sharps, Shiloh Sharps 4570 and a Colt Python. Oh man, that's way better than I deserve to own, for one thing, and then to be able to come out and shoot them at the same time, same day. Yeah, ought to be a law against that. Some kind of fine for excessive, excessive pleasure. Too pleasurable to have a beautiful Colt Python out firing it, and on a pretty nice day, other than being hot and humid, and then a 4570. Yeah, a couple of my favorite chamberings, 4570 and 357 Magnum. We have done a tribute to the 357 Magnum. 90 years it's been, so you'll be seeing that coming up here one day. Time flies. Thought I'd better do it. We did an 80-year tribute to it, and yeah, I don't know, man. I may be on the wrong side of the grass at 100 years, but hopefully not. Maybe get to do a 100-year tribute to the 357 Magnum. Been around a long time. Well, you know, I talked about it a little bit last week. Well, plus you saw this week the registered Magnum. I talk about some of the history and everything. 1935, this little cartridge. 1935. The first ones didn't look exactly like that Underwood round, but the case was. And yep, 357 Magnum. Been around a long time. And you've seen the other video I posted recently. It's like the 44, 357, 38 special are not really 38, are they? They're 36 caliber, and then 44 is really 43 caliber. Had a little fun with that. So I think a few people didn't get the, it wasn't necessarily a joke, but they didn't get the sarcasm and the humor in that. Imagine that. Somebody not getting my humor. Yeah, this never happened before, especially with all the 7th graders I taught for all those years, right? Can't imagine them not getting me. Speaking of young people, let's go ahead and give them some advice, because they're how long we've been going now? 10 minutes, yeah, because they're right on the verge of just being bored to tears. If they're even watching, obviously. If they're bored to tears, they wouldn't be watching this video. But just in the event that's the case with some young people, my advice with everything that's going on, man, what about it? Go look at the news for 30 minutes. You're going to lose your mind, right? Stuff that's actually happening, and you know, crazy. Some of it's just the usual drama of the news, and then dramatizing things that are already kind of dramatic. Dramatize them a little more. You got all that going on as usual with the media, where they want to keep us outraged, right? That keeps our eyeballs on them, just like all the clickbait on your phone or on YouTube, anywhere else. So anyway, in the crazy world, man, try not to get too caught up in it, wound up in it. Yeah, check in, know what's going on. Try to look at objective sources and know what's going on. But boy, if you just are eating that stuff up all day long, you might have a problem with stress. You know, it could affect your your life. You need to focus on your own life, your career, your family, right, and your goals in life. And because so much of that, even though some of it could be fairly serious or even dramatic, or fairly dramatic or even serious, I meant to say, and can affect us, 99% of it doesn't very much, right? And you don't want to let the tail wag the dog and affect your attitude and distract you from your goals and what you know you need to be doing, right? Because 15, 20 years from now, it'll be the same thing. You tune into your phone, your TV, there's going to be some really dramatic stuff going on, I guarantee you, right? So, like some Harleys going by. Yeah, so, and then you don't want to look back on your life in 10 or 20 years and think, well, I should have been a little bit more focused. I got all caught up in all this crazy stuff that was going on, and I felt like I needed to join in even. Maybe I need to be out there in the street, you know, or something, just trying to change the world every day. I don't know. But you might look back on that and think, hey, I don't know, man, I was a little quick to judge and a little immature, wasn't I? You know, really affected some of the dumb life decisions I made back then. So, but anyway, just advice: stay on course with whatever you're doing. Crazy things will come, crazy things will go. Yep. And I speak with authority, because I am one of those crazy. I'm crazy, and I know it. Let's shoot this thing some more, okay? All right. Oh, let's shoot. I'm gonna shoot some of my hand-loaded Magnums. All right. I load this 158 grain kind of round nose, flat nose bullet. Round flat nose bullet, this is called. And those are nice, especially I'm not hunting, yeah, so it doesn't matter what the bullet looks like, as long as it goes into the chambers, okay. And that's one reason I like these, kind of a cowboy bullet. It loads into a lever gun with ease. You know, you can imagine with that contour. And if you load semi-wad cutters sharp edges. Sometimes maybe if they got a long nose or whatever, they don't want to feed as well in a lever gun. Yeah, it might be even a little, I don't know, not problematic probably, but these go into a revolver too a little bit more easily. Okay, now watch me struggle to get it loaded. That's not gonna happen. Good old Colt Python. What a beauty. What a beauty. There are some beautiful firearms out there, and this is one of them. No doubt about it. One of the supermodels of the world, right? Okay. All right, supermodel. Let's shoot the tree again. I want more red showing. There, got another one showing. Those are kind of small targets. I actually have to look at my sight. Now I've got the heebie-jeebies thinking I've got another tick on me. Okay. All right. Just have to bear down sometimes. All right. Did you see how smart that was? I even knew which way the cylinder turned clockwise on a Colt. And I'm usually shooting a Smith, which is counterclockwise. And you young folks don't even know what that means, right? Clockwise and counterclockwise, some of you. So you have to shift gears in your brain. Colt versus Smith. And, I don't know. I have to remind myself which way, like Kimber, the Kimber revolvers, which way do they go? I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get one out. But Taurus mimic Smith & Wesson, I believe. Who else goes clockwise? I don't know. One of those eternal questions, needs answering. Yeah, I don't have anything else. Do I? I was going to blab at you about? Probably not. I'm just going to shoot some more. Really do appreciate y'all staying tuned in, finding us on Sunday morning, Tuesday around noon, and Friday around noon. It's usually the posting schedule. And I see a lot of you there. Glad you are. And we did turn 8 million subscribers this past week. So that's getting harder and harder to do in this world of so many content creators, isn't it? But by golly, we got to 8 million people. And it doesn't mean a lot if they don't come back and watch videos sometimes. But at least the way I look at that, we used to do videos early on. Some of you remember those. You do a 7,000 subscriber video, then an 8,000 subscriber, whatever, just to kind of commemorate, that event, that sort of thing. And we quit doing that. But anyway, that's a big milestone, another million. And but the way I look at that is no matter what it's worth, I mean, as hard as it is to get videos recommended and gun videos and all that shadow banning and whatever might be going on, all those things, at least in the last 18 years, I figure 8 million people clicked on subscribe, which is, if nothing else, a vote of confidence, kind of way I look at it. I mean, just the way it is with me. I'm looking at a video and it's pretty good. I think I'd like to know when they upload. Hopefully, at least it's a shot in the dark that maybe I would be notified, and their videos might come up again in some decade. So the same with when I do that. It's just, okay, I like that video, or I like that person, or what they do, how they do things, and subscribe, So if nothing else, it's a vote. That's the way I look at that. So appreciate the votes out there. Yeah, appreciate those votes. Gotta shoot this again. Can I? Let's do that. Big 4570. Anybody want to know why it's called 4570? Well, it's 45 caliber, and it goes back, of course, to the black powder days, 1873-ish. And they would designate their cartridges by how much powder it would hold, or that they loaded, whatever. So it was 70 grains of powder was the standard load. So I'm not sure they stuck to that or whatever, but yeah, there was a 45 110, a 45 90, and you got all that. So things were simpler in some ways back then, because all those early big cartridges, or even little ones, however powerful they wanted that cartridge to be, however much velocity they wanted it to have, that the design of that firearm and cartridge and everything was determined by how much black powder they could get. They didn't call it black powder, it's how much powder they could get in it. It's like today talking about water or milk or something. There were no 49 different types or thousands. It was just black powder. It was powder. That's what powder was, black powder. There may have been something else, I don't know, a little bit later on. Of course, the smokeless started coming about pretty quickly in what, the 1880s, 90s or something. But so, if I want this round to be powerful enough to hunt buffalo or whatever it's going to do, I'm thinking about, as I design it, the weight of the bullet, the design of the bullet, and then the size that the cartridge, the case, needs to be, because how much power do I want? Well, that's going to be determined by what? Unlike today, back then it was determined by the volume, the capacity of that brass case or copper case. That's what it was determined by. Now today, you can generate a lot of power with smokeless, powder, with small amounts. Yeah, you can, a lot. You don't need the case size is not what determines that, really. It's just, it's a factor in what case size you should use with a certain load and all that kind of thing. Maybe you don't want too little powder in a giant case, and there's some things going like that. Some loads you don't want it to be a compressed load, all that. But by and large, there's way more flexibility. Just look at a powder chart sometime, even from one company, and it's pretty amazing. But back then it was pretty simple. You want more power? Okay, you need a longer case. No charge for that. Got to start invoicing, y'all. All right, 4570 on a Sunday morning. Let's just put one on the paper. You want to? Fluey, yeah. Didn't blow it away. I got another one ready to go. I think I'll put one of these on Clyde. I haven't done that yet, have I? Kind of hard on him. Yep, that is a nice one. See that smoke? Pretty nice. I'm sick, sorry. So this is what people like. One of the things people like about vintage firearms, or just this sort of firearm. This is not vintage, it's a vintage design, but the wooden steel, the color case hardening, and you see the walnut. Isn't that nice? Just like my walnuts growing right here. Hopefully some of those someday will end up in a fine rifle like this. Yeah, I guess I could guarantee that, maybe. Cut a couple of them down and sell them to a firearms manufacturer. But yeah, now that's my usual extender on the back. Sorry about that ugly thing. But yeah, it's not even a fancy stock. They make them real gorgeous, burl and everything else. But I like just that plain walnut grain, black walnut, nice. So, yep. I think I need to shoot the Python once more before I make y'all leave. Can I? Let's shoot some of these Underwood mags, okay? Then I'll clean it up. It's been out 2 or 3 times this week, and put him back to sleep for a little bit. Yep, let him rest, or her. I don't know whether it's a him or her. Well, it might be a her. I've been calling her a supermodel, right? So I guess my Python is a her. I've not gotten into naming my guns yet, have I? Do I have any of them named? I don't think so. I might be taken for a crazy man already I don't know if naming my firearms might get me there quicker. I don't know. That might be it. Where's my water? There it is. That might ought to be a list. That'd be a fun thing to do a parody of the 4473 form. You know, the one that asks you if you've been arrested for this and that. If you renounced your citizenship. You know, all the questions you have to answer, yes or no, when you buy a firearm. It'd be fun to add some to that. You know, like, have you named any of your firearms? If so, how many? And what are their names? You know, there'd be some questions like that that would provide further insight into a gun buyer, wouldn't there? And they might even cancel out that other question up there a little bit higher that asks if you've ever been adjudicated as insane or something, however it's phrased. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, you could put one of those, one of the Jeff Foxworthy jokes on there from years gone by. I remember it being on one of his calendars I bought. And I had it hanging in my reloading room for a long time. It was, I think it was a Jeff Foxworthy. He said, if you might be the old "you might be a redneck" series, those jokes. You might be a redneck if you've ever removed a tick with a firearm. Yeah, there's one I've been tempted on. I haven't done it, but I've been tempted. All right. Might not work out so well, right? Okay. All right. Pretty good double action. Feels pretty good. That 6-inch barrel mitigates a lot of the recoil with this thing, just like a 686, you know, much like a 686, which is a pretty good option, you know, if you're thinking of a 357 Magnum revolver or 44, but like an Anaconda with a long barrel, same deal, but a Python or a 686 with at least a 4-inch barrel, but a 6-inch barrel. If you are recoil sensitive, you hate recoil, it's not a carry gun, you just want to shoot it at the range, maybe a 6-inch barrel would be something you would enjoy, because it really does reduce the recoil, felt recoil. Pretty nice. Plus, in a Python, it looks ultra cool. Remember, supermodel? Okay. Maybe I should name her Cindy or Christy. Some of you older folks know which supermodels I'm referring to, right? Yeah, I've always had a crush on Cindy. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to shut up. Feel like I forgot something. You know, one thing I did forget, I forgot to thank one of my favorite holster makers, and that would be Alabama Holster. They make these wonderful pocket holsters, but they also make wonderful belt holsters inside and outside the waistband. Purse holsters, my favorite. And all kinds of things. So check them out and tell them I sent you, because I said you needed a holster. Yeah. So I'm going to let you go here and enjoy your Sunday, enjoy your coffee, and turn me off and watch something, I don't know, educational or something that might increase your IQ rather than reduce it. And how's that for a plan? Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. You know, really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com, And also, while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.